Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. My name is Nick, and today, guys, we're going to be jumping down into the world of Bitcoin and ultimately the crypto market. We're going to be taking a look at things from a slightly different lens today. We are going to be taking a look at total market cap for all of crypto and, of course, Bitcoin dominance. And I'll share my thoughts and opinions on what these might mean for the crypto space going forward. As I get into today's video, if you do find it useful and informative, smash that like button. I really do appreciate that. It helps spread the content out to more like-minded individuals. And if you are new to the channel and you're not yet subscribed, why not go ahead and subscribe? You can always unsubscribe later if you find out this channel just simply isn't for you. And if you haven't joined us in Discord, I think you're missing a trick. You should probably check it out, linked in the description down below. It's a fantastic community talking crypto 24/7. It's completely free, and I don't think you'll be disappointed by what you find down there. So why not go ahead and check it out? Let's jump right down into today's video, and what we'll do is we're just going to kick things off with our market cap. Okay, so total market cap here for all of crypto. This includes Bitcoin, Ethereum, etc. Okay, so obviously this is tagged up bear market, so we can just kind of see how Bitcoin dominance has fallen. How the total market cap has fallen here. Okay, so we can see that we peaked up here in November of 2021 with a $3 trillion market cap. Now, for context on this, obviously, these numbers are kind of fictional to a point because they are only basic calculations. They don't show you the amount of money that's gone into the space. It doesn't show you the liquidity of the amount of available liquidity in the space or anything like that. It's a simple calculation, right? The circulating supply multiplied by a price of a project gets a market cap, and you sum all those market caps across all the projects, you end up with 3 trillion at that peak, right? So we know it doesn't represent anything more than just this idea of value, but it doesn't actually show you value, doesn't show you the amount of money that's gone in, and does not show you the liquidity. It's just this idea, this theoretical idea of value, but without actually showing you value. It's quite kind of confusing. It's something that essentially I think is actually very misleading for many retail investors who do not understand what market cap actually is, and they think that it represents value, or it represents liquidity, or it represents the amount of money that's in the space. It simply doesn't do any of those things. There's some great articles and some great stuff available in the Discord server if you're interested in understanding market cap a little bit more than maybe what you see at the moment. So just also kind of reflect on where we were back in the lows of December 2018. We were a $91.236 billion market cap. Okay, so we know that we grew market cap by 3,198% during that particular movement. Now, for the most part, we started our channel when we had about a $300 billion market cap. It was around, let me see if I can find the approximate time when we started this YouTube channel. It was around about here, October of 2020. So it's approximately here, $350 billion. And we're talking about a multi-trillion-dollar market cap back in the early stages of this channel in 2020. And this isn't anything terribly too unusual, because again, for all the reasons of market cap just being multiplications of circulating supply and price, right? But we did see an explosion of cryptocurrency projects which helped fuel this move to the upside, right? Back when we started the channel, there were about there were about 3,000 projects, right? And then during this particular run to the upside, we ended up well above 20,000 projects. And so we know that the number of altcoins, shitcoins, whatever you want to kind of call them, multiplied massively. And that helped fuel that $3 trillion market cap, right? But again, it's only the idea of value without actually showing you value. So we had to understand those things. Now, why am I talking about total market cap today? Well, I'm talking about this because it's in relation to the whole entire crypto space, right? At the point of recording this video, we're hovering about the $1 trillion level in terms of market cap. In this bear market so far, we've dropped down as low as $727 billion, right? So we know that the market cap has dropped quite a bit. It's grown a little bit here. But for the most part, I think in the next bullish market, we are going to see upwards towards that $9 to $10 trillion level, maybe even more, pushing up towards that 15 trillion. And again, this isn't because there's an additional amount of money necessarily flowing in, because I do think the Bitcoin spot ETFs are going to have a profound effect on that next bullish market, where we are going to see market caps explode, even though there's not actually going to be that amount of dollars actually flowing into the market. Okay, but I do think there's going going to also be an explosion of more projects. Okay, we saw a significant amount, another 20,000 or so in that previous bull market, just being minted out of thin air, new projects cropping up all over the place. And I think we're going to see the same thing again in that next bullish market, which means we're just going to add more and more to that total market cap. So it's going to explode. It's going to be pretty powerful stuff. So in this bear market at the moment, we've come down $727 billion. Now, I think that's got to come down more. I don't think we're done just yet. And I think we're going to see, a pretty significant move to the downside. If we take a look at the previous 2017 high, we were actually pretty much where we are now, and yet we dropped down to 91 billion. So in terms of like percentage drops of total market cap, we actually saw this drop down 88%. It was very significant. At the moment, if we take a look at that low that we have, we're about 75. Now, I think we potentially can see a bit more bleeding on the total market cap level. I don't think it's necessarily done just yet. And that's not just because we can see percentage differences here, but also because I think Bitcoin has to also correct down quite a bit. And I think when Bitcoin corrects down, altcoins are going to go down into new lower lows, into new bear market lows. And for the most part, we see this pretty much daily at the moment, with many altcoins still going down into new bear market low points. Take Avalanche, for example, just the other day. Take GLMR, before it had its recent bounce to the upside, was in a new bear market low points. And I think that we're going to see a lot more of those altcoins bleeding out. And as they bleed out, as Bitcoin bleeds out, market cap will drop down, and market cap will probably lose that low of $727 billion. Now, again, speculation. We'll see how that kind of plays out, but I suspect that we probably are going to see some of those altcoins, those explosions of 3,000 altcoins to 20,000 plus altcoins, we're going to see some of them go to zero. Okay, and that's kind of what you expect to see and expect to happen in the crypto winter bear market. So let's talk about bull market. Well, where do we think? Well, obviously I said that we're probably going to be upwards to that kind of 9 to 10, maybe possibly push $15 trillion in terms of market cap. In terms of Bitcoin dominance, we can of course acknowledge that Bitcoin dominance has been on the rise recently. This is pretty common within bear markets. Okay, so Bitcoin tends to hold up slightly better than many altcoins in terms of the percentages that it drops down. Altcoins, for example, can go from their all-time high, drop down 99% from their all-time high before they bottom out, whereas Bitcoin tends to drop down, around the kind of 70, 80, possibly, if it's really bad, 90%, but it holds up better in terms of percentage points than many of those altcoins. And so what you tend to find is, as altcoins bleed out, as altcoins go to zero, as projects shut down, projects close their doors, is the Bitcoin dominance goes up. Okay. Now, here we can see Bitcoin dominance when there was very few altcoins out there, right? Back in 2015, 2017, you can see Bitcoin dominance dropped down in 2017 as there was an explosion of altcoins, okay? As many altcoins came into the market, lots of money that was in Bitcoin kind of, was spread out. Okay, so we take that total market cap and we spread that market cap across many projects. Bitcoin's dominance on the market dropped down quite aggressively into the peak of 2018. So essentially January 2018. So at the end of the 2017 bull market, Bitcoin's dominance had dropped down, right? Many people refer to this as the alt season, as many altcoins were exploding to the upside towards the end of the 2017 bull market. Once that was over, Bitcoin got more dominance on the space. This is because people are taking their profits out of altcoins. Altcoins are crashing harder than Bitcoin. People are rolling money out of altcoins back into Bitcoin, trying to protect their investments, trying to protect as much of the gains that they've made as possible. Many people also leaving the space, right? Bitcoin cracks down quite heavily, 88%, I believe it was. And we saw many of the altcoins go down into crazy, crazy low levels, right? And so as such, Bitcoin gets more dominance on the total market. And so we can see here it aggressively moves right the way back up into late 2019. After this, altcoins started to gain a little bit more traction, more altcoins started popping up, and we start to see Bitcoin's dominance drop back down towards the latter part of 2020. Okay, obviously, by the time that January 2021 starts, Bitcoin dominance has one large surge to the upside before altcoins really start to rally. As altcoins rally, you can see that Bitcoin's dominance pulls back down, right? And as you can see, this is the end May 2021. We have the lowest point actually over here in September of 2022, but we did peak down here in January 2022 as well. Okay, so we know that Bitcoin's dominance was a bit volatile as people were a bit confused as to whether or not the bull market was over and the bear market has begun. And essentially, as you see here, as we start in January 2022, Bitcoin gets a little bit more dominance as people roll out of altcoins. In the second half of 2022, basically when we saw many altcoins and Bitcoin hit like a local bottom, a lot of influencers in the space were saying that Bitcoin's bear market low is in, and essentially, we're going to the moon now, new bull market has started. What do you see is you see money coming back into altcoins during this movement. And of course, all those influencers were not really paying close enough attention to what was about to happen. And obviously that was not the case. And again, Bitcoin's dominance goes up as many people got wrecked out of their positions in those altcoins as new lows came on in. So we did find upper resistance here on the 200 exponential moving average. Not really that you can use this one, but you can see here that actually this 200 exponential moving average appears to be pretty consistent at suppressing Bitcoin dominance. So at the moment, that is coming in at 51.06% on that exponential moving average, and that's where we are right now in terms of BTC dominance. My expectation here is that we're about to go into some bear market rallies. Altcoins are about to rally, and Bitcoin dominance is more than likely going to start dropping from here. Coincidence with our 200 exponential moving average? Probably not. But for the most part, if we follow in the technicals, these things all generally line up quite well. So my expectation is that Bitcoin dominance will drop back down. We'll probably find support a little bit lower. I'm not expecting it to drop down terribly too far. We'll probably come and revisit maybe the 44% levels somewhere around here before maybe getting a bit more traction. One of the things I'm not expecting is essentially a big drop in Bitcoin dominance, signaling a new kind of bullish environment. Ultimately, as Bitcoin dominance grows up, we're not in a bullish environment, and usually only when Bitcoin's dominance drops down do we find ourselves in the more bullish environments. Okay, so when Bitcoin dominance generally goes up, it's bearish times for altcoins. And as Bitcoin moves to the upside here, most recently in late 2022 and into 2023, we have seen just that. We've seen a few altcoins rallying in the first half of the year, but for the most part, we aren't seeing any major movements. We actually see new bear market lows on many altcoins. And I think that's going to kind of see a natural expected bear market rally on many of those altcoins, which in essence, if I can talk today, will essentially bring that dominance down a little bit. But ultimately, I expect it still to rise. Now, a while back, back in 2022, I was talking about Bitcoin dominance retesting around the 50% level. And I think that's kind of where we are right now. So, this is kind of where we should be kind of expecting, I think, us to kind of peak out in terms of Bitcoin dominance. I'm not expecting Bitcoin dominance to really push above 53.2. I actually expect that this is going to be the upper area of resistance. We might find that, we might be able to, if we're lucky, push 55% in terms of market dominance. But for the most part, my expectation is that we'll kind of peak out at around 55 when we have maximum pain for those altcoins. And yeah, we'll see how that kind of goes. I could be wrong. Historically, we have seen pushes upwards towards 60. But for now, I want to see how things kind of progress in terms of the market and where Bitcoin potentially could gain a bit more of market share across the crypto space. Let me know what your thoughts are on all of this, though. I do think that's going to wrap up today's video. Just a brief kind of brain dump, I guess, on market cap and on Bitcoin dominance. If you have found this useful, informative, smash the like button. If you're new, subscribe. And if you haven't joined us in Discord, what are you waiting for? Check it out. Link is down in the description below. Until the next one, though, guys, have a fantastic day.